Years and years ago, I was driving 75 miles one way to work and started listening to books on tape, and after about 200 books, I ran across Mark Levin's Liberty Amendments right after he published it. And I said, somebody should do that. And when I got home that next night, I started looking and I found Convention of States, and that's how I got started with this, is that I believe Mark Levin espoused just exactly how we fix the problems that our country has, and that Convention of States is probably the most likely way that we're ever going to have a convention and rein in the federal government. But every year, if you're listening to Congress argue about whether or not they're going to do a tax increase, whether or not they're going to fully fund the government, whether or not they're going to have a government shutdown, and then if you get to the presidential cycle, everybody's saying they're going to cut taxes and do a really big favor for the American people. And every bit of that is utter nonsense. We should never have debt, and we could have a much better national conversation around what we can do as citizens for ourselves instead of what the government's going to do for or to us. That is that if I'm responsible for going broke myself, I don't take the country down with me. If the federal government's responsible for everybody going broke, we're all broke. And that's just not, in my view, that's not the American way. For that matter, if we win this and the federal government is inconsequential in our daily lives, the next step from a Texas point of view is to take a lot of power out of Austin and put it back in the counties. Because there's a lot of Texas laws that if you live in Houston is great, but like me, if you live in Mineola, it makes absolutely no sense. And it's a state law. So getting the power and the lawmaking closer to home is actually our American vision, and we should get back to that. Madison didn't believe that there was anything in the Constitution that could allow the federal government to be what we now see it has become. But even in Federalist 85, he said, should that come to pass, the state legislature is there to protect the people. They will erect a bulwark against an overreaching federal government, and Article V is actually the way to erect that bulwark, because the federal government has no choice in that matter. So I think you can't read that paragraph and even pretend that's not fully the intention of at least the convention aspect of Article V, is to give the people through their state legislatures a way to rein in an overreaching federal government. And that was Madison's vision, and I think it should be our vision today. We have in Texas, we have Texasitis, which is to say we're absolutely convinced that we're right. And I think this exercise is going to give me a chance to talk to COS supporters from around the country. And when our ideas are challenged, we always grow. And we hone our ideas by the challenges we get. And so I think when I come out of here, I may sound on certain things differently because of the conversation I've had with other COS supporters, because of that different point of view. They don't have Texasitis. And so as much as I'd like to always be right, I know I'm not, but I need the argument and the challenge to my ideas in order to bring that home. Is it time for the states and the people to unite? No, it's past time. It's been past time. So every day now is time.